Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and my name is Nara, and here we are talking all things astrology, spirituality, and mysticism. And this particular video is a part of the series that I'm making, which is Libra through the houses. And this is the very last video for this series, which is Libra in the 12th. So if you know your time of birth, please calculate your chart. You can find the software by Googling it, just, astrological chart calculation, and you can run the chart and find out your personal placements. So if you happen to have Libra or Venus or even Taurus in the 12th, welcome to this video. Okay, so this is my placement. I have Venus in the 12th, okay? And I'm a Libra rising, which is my first house, but also looking at where your Venus is placed is very important, because this is what's going to determine what you're going to be interested the most, and what your identity, your personality will be drawn to the most, and from where you're going to have inspiration, from what area of your life you're going to have inspiration and transformation and stuff like that, which relates to your identity, right? So for me, for instance, my Venus is in the 12th house. So for me, it's very important to isolate myself in order to recuperate, in order to transform, to, dig deep into the secrets, right? Okay, but what is 12th house? Before we even interpret Libra or Venus in the 12th, what is 12th house? 12th house is a natural house of Pisces, and it is ruled by Neptune. Okay, what is Neptune? Neptune is a planet of dreams, is a planet of God, everything that are not of this earth, spirituality, like everything higher, because it's 12th house, right? The last house, which is God. Okay, something unseen. Okay, it's also on a very mundane level. We can associate it with institutions like mental institutions, prisons, institutions like psychiatry and stuff like that, right? It can also be like morgues, and stuff like that. So looking at the, from the professional standpoint, a Venus in the 12th or Libra in the 12th house, those people can do the work that are related to death, or they can be gurus, they can be spiritual teachers, they can be working as a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist, helping other people to overcome their threatening emotions and stuff like that, finding balance, helping other people to find balance, because by isolating themselves in the 12th house, they found that balance within themselves, and now they're ready to help other people. So 12th house is also service. Okay, it's like fourth, 8th, and 12th house are all water houses. Okay, and these houses they tend to be karmic. Okay, like they are called in all astrological books, they're called karmic houses. And why is it karmic? Because fourth house, because something we cannot control, something that is influencing us from external sources, but we don't even know what's influencing us, for instance. So the fourth house is ruled by Cancer, right, which is a water sign, which represents home and family, is the foundation where we acquired our belief systems, towards life, how to live, how to act, how whatever, right? So we may not always see why we act the way we do, right? We can't consciously even understand that. That's something buried in our subconscious mind, which stems from the family and the traditions that we grew up with. That's why it's, called karmic. The 8th house is also karmic because it involves other people's money, partners' money. It involves, crises, something which is outside of our control. Like we can't control what happens to us, right? We can only control how we react to the things that happen to us. That's why they tend to be karmic houses, unlike like the 5th house, which is like all about art and self-expression. So you are in control in the 5th house how you're going to express yourself, right? But in the karmic houses, which are designed for water signs, tend to be called karmic because we can't control necessarily those areas of our lives, but rather get influenced, and we can only control our reaction, right? And our resonance with those things. But the 12th house is the house of dreams, house of God, the need to isolate and reconnect with God in you, or, with your heart and stuff like that, right? Okay. I do want to talk about the partnerships and just like romantic relationship when it comes to the 12th house Venus or Libra in the 12th house. So people with this placement can be perceived as weird. Just so you know, because I'm always perceived as weird, and I'm okay with that because that's what makes me happy. We don't think the same way. We're actually more attuned to our emotional and emotional state.
Laptop F5 Muckle.
Excuse me. We're more attuned to our intuition. We're more attuned to the vibrations of other people. We're more attuned to the vibration of the world itself. We are more attuned to the vibration of God itself. We feel God's presence, and we are, unconsciously trying to go home, but which is not on this earth, if that makes any sense. So we're unconsciously drawn to mysticism, spirituality, which is unexplainable and which is, buried in secrets. And we want to uncover those secrets in the 12th house, find the truth for ourselves, and be fulfilled. Okay. But from a romantic standpoint, looking at the 12th house, it is a love for everything hidden. It is the love for secrets. It is a love for 12th house Venus or 12th house Libra may be drawn to people who are secretive, who are or involved, where the relationship has to be hidden, where the relationship doesn't have to be brought up into the world, where the relationship is restrained in a certain way. Let's say a person is married and a Libra in the 12th or Venus in the 12th is drawn to people who are unavailable, okay? And it is kept secret, and it can be kept secret for years until the relationship is ultimately given up in the end, okay? So this is something to be aware of. And in the 12th house, Libra or Venus, there is a need for love that has no boundaries, okay? That love that cannot be possibly explained with a human mind, where no restrictions exist, meaning like they love sex, okay? Libra or Venus in the 12th, they have great sexual energy, and they tend to please their partners with sex by a lot, and they tend to get a lot of advantages from that too. But Libra in the 12th, let's say from a sexual standpoint, the sex is not of this earth, and which makes other people drawn to that Libra person, and they ultimately get obsessed, and then that relationship becomes karmic because they need to give it up, but they can't give it up, okay? Because like they're so passionate about one another, but like just because it was kept secret for so long, and there's other restrictions, meaning like there's another partner or the person is married, so there still will be that bond that is really, really hard to break for those people, okay? So that's that. And also a very cool mythical story about the Venus in the 12th house is related to Aphrodite. I hope I pronounced that correctly, the Aphrodite or Aphrodite. So basically, Aphrodite's dad was Saturn, okay? And Saturn, he castrated Uranus, and he basically, cast him into the sea or ocean. So what happened, all of the Uranus genitalias were spread in the sea, and the sperm was spread as well. And this is how Aphrodite was born. And Aphrodite is a true representation of a Venus in the 12th house, or Libra in the 12th house, okay? So how can we even apply this to today's interpretation, right? So it is love. It's somebody who found love through suffering, who overcome so many emotions, who've been through hell, literally, emotionally, okay? Who've been wounded so much, who suffered so much, and regardless of how much they've been through, they are still loving and still harmonious and still sophisticated and still believe in love. So that's how we can interpret that mythical story related to Venus in the 12th. All right, so the need to constantly isolate for a Libra in the 12th. Constantly isolate, meaning that for a Libra in the 12th to balance herself out, to feel good within herself, she has to meditate. She has to have certain devotional practices, spiritual practices that allow her to be grounded, to be stable, and which will help her successfully show up in the world. So this is something to keep in mind. Obviously, like if you keep going into the external world and never meditate or never do yoga or not journal or anything, and just constantly expending your energy on social things, then you will deprive yourself of the balance that you very much need in order to function properly. So if you don't do that, you will get burnt out, pretty easily. A Libra in the 12th house have a tendency to isolate herself, like I said, to a point where she doesn't even want to communicate with others, because Libra feels the vibration of other people, and having Libra or Venus in the 12th house makes you psychic, makes you feel the people's intentions, makes you feel what other people are thinking about you, even how they perceive you. So because of that, it's giving that discomfort to the Libra, and she doesn't want to engage in social things anymore. So she's like, oh, I'm done. I'm isolating myself because I'm getting too much influenced in a negative way, because I feel the vibrations of those people. So this is something to not do. This is something to keep in check and in balance. So this is something to be in check and in balance, because as a Libra, she needs social interaction, and if she is just like scared because of the vibrations of other people and cannot balance herself out, she will be alone and lonely, and she will never connect with other people. She will be just avoiding the society, really. So this is like, but Libra is a social sign. She can't avoid society, and if she doesn't get the social interaction at all, then just because she's getting influenced so much and she's scared to get the other people's emotional states, because it's very, very likely for a Libra to embody other people's emotional states, because she's so attuned to her intuition and she literally feels vibrations. Like I know Libra or Venus in the 12th. It's not an easy placement, okay, to have, like, because you guys, we feel other people, and that's why, like, I've been home for 7 days now, and I don't feel bad about it at all. Like, I'm good by myself. I don't need connections. I don't need interactions, because I have Virgo in the 12th, but I have with Venus, right? So I like to organize my routines. I like to learn astrology. I like to make these videos, right, outside of society, right? I like to read the books, and then I'm taking it out into my 10th house of Mercury, and communicating whatever I learned from the 12th house of mysticism, which astrology is also a part of it, into the 10th house. So if you have that placement, you will be also drawn to like occult, the astrology, the tarot cards, like psychic abilities. Like, you'll be just like naturally inclined and interested in those kinds of things. That's why it's hard for people with this placement to connect with others, because not everybody's interested in the mysticism, right? Everybody's interested in what Kim Kardashian is doing, right? Or I don't know, but we are not the same. Okay, we are not the same. Like, from a spiritual or religious perspective, as a Libra or Venus in the 12th, these people are seeking beauty, which is of course not out of this earth, not from this earth. The beauty that is undescribable, that is very Neptune-like, dreamy, the beauty in everything. These people can just literally stop and smell the roses and feel the best about themselves. They can literally stare outside of the window and look at a tree for an hour, and they enjoy it, because they find that balance and beauty in the things that are not explained, in the things where other people don't see that, in the things that other people don't agree with. Also, actually, with that placement, people are drawn to how can I put it? People who are avoided in a society, and they tend to have empathy towards those people. For example, I'm so sorry, I'm sick. I did not mention that, but I'm sick, and if my voice and you can, sounds like I have a congested nose, it is true. My nose is very congested, and I have a bunch of paper towels in here. So yeah, but I really wanted to finish off the series. Okay, so with Libra in the 12th, it is the love for like criminals, people who are not accepted by others in society, or prisoners. They can even date a person in jail. I mean, I would never do that. Thank God I have Virgo there that is keeping me in check, mentally. Like, don't do this, don't do that. Like, that's not good. This is good. But if you have Libra in the 12th, there's like, they're blind to love, and they tend to over exaggerate something that is not even there. Like, they tend to be drawn to people who are not accepted by society as Libra in the 12th. So they find beauty in those ugly people. Yeah, so it's a weird placement, but it's a very interesting. 12th house is one of my favorite houses, coupled with the 8th house, because both of these houses are very active, and that's why I'm very drawn to death, mysticism, and all of that stuff, and that's why I'm talking about this stuff, right? Hey guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please leave your comments below. If it didn't, or you want to add a different interpretation that is consistent with your particular lifestyle, please drop your comments down below. I would like to hear your interpretation of your chart, and to see, to add more interpretations, because this is how you learn astrology, right? Because it's not going to play out the same way in everybody's life. And yeah, I appreciate you for watching me. I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.